I've been teaching about 20 years now, and I've noticed that there's been a big increase with how young people become stressed in their lives, and they're finding it really difficult to cope with it. So in the past, because we've not been trained in how to deal with this, we swept it under the carpet. The Living Life to the Full materials allows you to give them strategies about how to cope.
The course has been developed for use in schools and other places where young people attend, and it aims to teach key life skills that can make a real difference to their lives. It covers a range of practical tools that people can use, first of all to help the person work out why do I feel like I do, so whether someone feels low or anxious, guilty, angry or ashamed, helps work out what's going on, but also crucially then teaches various skills to help the person improve how they feel. It's very much part of a wider well-being course that tries to help prepare the young person for the life ahead.
The lessons are very interactive. It's really important that you keep the pace of the lesson fluent, but it's incredibly important that you teach them something that they can then take away with and use themselves. So for example, they've been using the materials in the lessons, but they've been going away and talking to their friends about it, because young people in the classroom don't always feel stressed at that time, but later on they can refer to the materials. Because they're visual, because they're interactive, they remember them.
Like being in school, you realise that some people just don't deal with their emotions very well, which is why I think this is so valuable to learn from such a young age, because we need to know it throughout life. There's so many problems that we're having to deal with now, and I just think that this is the perfect time for us to deal with these emotions and learn how to cope with them.
It's really easy to implement because you've got a PowerPoint which you can control. You can spend time talking to the students. You can spend time reflecting. That is really important. It's really easy to implement. All the materials are there for you. You've got the PowerPoints, you've got the booklets, but more importantly for me, you've got these small strategies, these small little games, these small exercises you can just roll out in the classroom, which have an instant impact.
The approach uses an approach called cognitive behavioural therapy, which has a very strong evidence base for use with young people who are facing problems like anxiety and panic or depression and low mood. But it tries to do that in a way that translates it, so you won't actually see the words cognitive or behaviour therapy within the package. Instead we talk about thoughts, we talk about the actions and activities that people do, and try and teach these principles of change in a very everyday language.
So for example, the banana game. You just bring in some bananas and ask the students to eat the bananas, do something funny with the bananas, and they remember it. You wouldn't believe the impact that the exercises have on the young people, and you wouldn't believe that 6 months later, after teaching it, they still remember it. So you're embedding principles in their lives that they're going to deal with forever.
First I was a bit resistant because it's a little bit out of my area of expertise, being a computer science teacher. So it was quite a shock to see the strategies that were being used, and didn't really know how to teach them, didn't really understand how we were going to sort of measure progress, which is what teachers really get focused on. But slowly as I did the training and I worked through the cohorts, I've come to understand how all the pieces and the tools fit together. What's interesting is the effect it's had on my home life as well. I've got 2 young children, and how it's helped me respond to the ups and downs of raising a family as well. So I'd really recommend teachers get involved and make the most of it.
We've been teaching within our school, and it's a closer link between the ages, and we've just gone through exams, they've gone through exams, we're obviously a couple of years ahead, so we know what's coming for them.
Not only is it valuable for them, but it's also really valuable for us. But I found it really useful just to be having a connection with the younger years, and realising that they're going through difficulties, and it really puts into perspective how important this is.
I think it's one of those things that needs to become part of the curriculum, because it's just a rising issue and it affects people a lot, and without the methods to help yourself with that, it damages, it really does.
So the beauty of the materials is that it can be quite tense in the classroom, but then it's offset by this relaxing, reflective, humorous approach, which is how life should be really. We should recognise that there are going to be tense moments, but you should also recognise that laughter can be a tonic. So the students walk out of the room really invigorated.